This is me, Bootio's Boy Wrestling fan, back here today with another interview. I'm with special guest Matthew James.
Hey, Bootio's boy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I didn't want to use your shoot name. I didn't want to call you by your real name, so I'll call you Bootio's boy 10.
Yeah.
Bootio's boy 10.
Yeah. It's great. So how do you think today's show went?
Today was the 5th Western Mass Wrestling show. Another great show. We like to run a nice, quick, tight Sunday afternoon show here. We had 6 matches. It ran about 2.5 hours with intermission, and that's kind of something we pride ourselves here on Western Mass Wrestling. Is not every show has to be WrestleMania, and we put on action-packed cards, and we don't go too long, and we don't overstay our welcome, and that's basically it.
Just in and out real quick, you know?
In and out real quick. Story of my life, Donovan.
So who's your favorite person on the Western Mass Wrestling roster?
My favorite person right now, in and out of wrestling, is Slade. Slade is God's gift to wrestling. Slade is God's gift to gods, and Slade is God's gift to man. Slade!
You seemed really happy when you saw him earlier.
Slade's really awesome. I even swore tonight on the microphone. I swore real hard in the microphone because I couldn't help it because Slade won his match.
Now, do you think you're equal to Pioneer Valley or better?
Okay, well, Pioneer Valley was the greatest thing in this area for wrestling. They are completely misguided right now under the tutelage of Alex Cypher, and this is kind of where I started this whole thing, was not to battle them, and it's turned that way because they can't keep their nose out of our business. I wanted a completely different thing. We try to use as many different wrestlers away from Pioneer Valley as we can, and they just keep sticking their nose in our business. So November 24th, we got a Survivor Series match with them. That's going to be at Western New England University in Springfield, Massachusetts, my hometown, and Alex Cypher is going to have a thing or two to learn about a thing or two.
Now, I asked you about your favorite roster member. Who's your favorite referee?
My favorite referee? There's, a good referee. You don't know his name. And not that you don't know his name, but a good referee is kind of out of the way. He does his job. It's kind of a unsung spot in a wrestling show, but certainly one of the most important spots. So I guess I'm not really going to answer your question.
That's fair. What got you into, like, wrestling? Or, well, yeah, you're an announcer, but wrestling.
Well, I've always loved wrestling. There's not one thing on this earth that I care more about wrestling. I could have been a doctor or a lawyer or at least an ambulance driver if I devoted any amount of anything into anything besides wrestling. So I just love pro wrestling. I did some backyard wrestling in my youth, and some of those backyard wrestlers grew up to be kind of famous guys, and I'm not going to name drop that we were all in the backyard together, but some of those guys ran promotions. I got into wrestling about 8 years ago, but I make my living talking into a microphone, much like you, Bootio's Boy 10.
Now, what hair products do you use?
A lot of it is all natural. I use this one thing. I used to have a lot better hair, so I'm getting older and my hair's thinning out a little bit, but I used to have this stuff from Italy called pasta dell'aragna, which means spider paste. So I'd put a little there, and you'd go like this, and it would just kind of like this accordion of stuff, and I'd kind of put it over my head and sink it in. I never like to look like there's a lot of product in my hair. That's a very 90s thing to do, and I did have that in the 90s. That's well before you were with us.
Yeah, I wasn't even a thought back then, but... Now, what was your goal for Western Mass Wrestling?
My goal was to run a very separate, long, successful company, separate from Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling and separate from some of the other things here in the Pioneer Valley and in Western Mass. But I think my goal is shift, and now I want to use everything in my power, even if it costs me everything here in Western Mass Wrestling, to take Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling back from Alex Cypher. That's what I want to do with this company.
Now, do you think you'll ever have a match against him?
A match against Alex Cypher? Well, we are doing a Survivor Series contest, and I would like to get involved, but I'm just not sure yet. If it came down to it, and I had to fight Alex Cypher, and the winner of that match controlled both companies, yeah, I would do it. Absolutely. I would fight Alex Cypher in a heartbeat.
Now, 2 more questions. what should people expect when they come to these shows?
Well, like I said, we run a fast-paced show. We run on Sundays, which a little bit of an insider information is you get to book guys that aren't normally available because they're busy Saturdays at bigger promotions. But on Sundays, not a lot of people run on Sundays. And that's where we get our JT Dunns. That's where we get our Chuck O'Neills before he abandoned me and left and hightailed it, the turncoat that he is for Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling. Big Bacon before he was injured. The Main State Posse, all three of them. Nobody ever gets to book the Main State Posse, all three of them. We get all three of them every time. Some of the ladies like Davey Ann, we get Kennedy Copeland, things like that. We get good wrestlers, we get high volume wrestlers that are bigger than Western Mass Wrestling. We bring in here, and they all kind of like to help out. And they're the same guys that are here unloading the ring and loading it back up right now.
Final question: what kind of underwear do you wear?
I right now have bright pink Tommy Hilfiger briefs. I wear too tight of pants to have boxer briefs anymore, even though boxer briefs are way cooler, but they bunch up right here on my skinny jeans. So I just got a nice classic tighty-whitey V-cut, but they're light pink today. Here, I'm going to give you a little peek, just so you know I'm not lying. There we go, right there.
Real men wear pink.
That's right, Bootios boy. Real men wear pink.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. Glad we got this going. We did a full interview a couple months ago, and I had my suit on, and I looked good, but the sound was off. So, but just release that video anyway, because I look really good in it. Just release it. You can dub in whatever else you want. You can talk right over me, as long as you put over my underwear. All right. Thanks, Bootios boy. Great shirt, by the way. I have 92 of these goddamn shirts left.